I request panelists to please be on the dais. Mr. Probhas Bondhu Chakraborty, Managing Director, Mendine Pharmaceuticals Private Limited. Dr. Kuntal Ganguly, Head R&D, Albert David Limited. Dr. Barun Bhattacharyya, Manager, East India Pharmaceutical Works Limited. Ms. Kinkini Roy, Associate Director, Aviceda Therapeutics from Boston. And our moderator, Mr. Debarshi Duttagupta, Chairperson, Co-Chairperson, Biotech and Pharma Committee of the Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and Managing Director, East India Pharmaceutical Works Limited. I request all the delegates to please be seated. Professor Bhomik, please be seated. I request all the delegates, please be seated so that we can start the session. Mr. Debarshi Duttagupta, I request you to please take the panel discussion forward.
Okay, thank you. Without any further delay, we would start the panel discussion. Before that, I thank all the members of this panel for sparing their time to be here. We had a very interesting first half of discussions, which I believe has shown what's coming in the future. So a lot of interesting solutions coming in the future, but till that comes, and if I am not wrong, if I can gather from what everybody has said, it's quite a few years down the line, that kind of solutions. Till the time that comes, I think it is important that the current solutions as well as the companies bringing in those solutions have their plans and future plans forward. And we have a very interesting panel because we have 3 members from the Pharma Manufacturing and Marketing Organization. We have Albert David, we have Mendine Pharmaceuticals, our organization East India Pharmaceuticals, and Dr. Roy, she's into research. So her work, of course, though very, very important to what we do, is in a different genre of organization, and we will talk about that in the panel discussion. But before we get to the speakers, I was thinking, sitting there, is that pharma manufacturing and marketing is a very, very challenging field of work, just as research. And as our topic for this panel discussion is regarding research and the industry perspective, I would love to put in the same question to all 4, though, but in a very different way, not in a way that we would like to have. So I'll start with the question which I was thinking, sitting there, to Dr. Ganguly, Probhas Bondhu Chakraborty, and Dr. Bhattacharyya first, is that see, all the 3 organizations, apart from Dr. Roy's organization, we are a 90-year-old plus family-held pharmaceutical manufacturing and marketing organizations. So for a 90-year-old organization, and I believe that when all the 3 organizations started, our founder fathers had extreme amount of focus on research as well. Okay, 90 years back. So one organization doing research, making the medicines and selling it. So all 3. But now we were having a word just before we came onto the stage, that the industry has taken a lot of different directions. Now you have research-based organizations, you have only manufacturing organizations, and you have organizations that only markets or sells the product. Okay? But all 3 of us, we still have all 3 aspects in the organization. So I'll just first ask sir, that what will be the challenge in the future for an organization like all 3 of us? as regards to research is concerned.
Thank you, Dr. Duttagupta. The from an industry perspective, and this is, I think, we all are 90 years young pharmaceutical organizations, I would say, but the regulatory landscape is day by day becoming tough. And when we are talking about this genetic or genomics, pharmacogenomics or pharmacogenetics, and their interventions, this will lead to personalization of medicine or precision medicine. That would be very nice. And there will be lots of delivery vehicles like nanoparticles or nanotechnology based interventions, or the liposomals or solid lipid nanoparticles. So this would be there. But whenever it comes to the regulatory landscape, when we go for personalized medicine or precision medicine based on this pharmacogenomic data, that there is a huge or hell lot of data that we are getting. So I have jotted down a few of the hurdles that at this point industry is facing, the pharma industry, not only in West Bengal but all over India or all over the world. So because this genomic data that we are having, and in future it will be personalized medicine. So what CDSCO or DCGI as such is not having any kind of regulatory alignment with globally. So if you want to carry out any of these pharmacogenomic interventions or this, so regulatory alignment in India, you have to carry out the clinical trials, or you have to go for the regulatory submission, and that has to be India specific. China, where on the other hand is accepting the global clinical trial data, but India will not accept. That is the clear-cut scenario. ICMR will not give you, and CDSC will not give you. Second is the review timelines. If you talk about pharmacogenomic interventions, China NMPA timeline is around 60 to 200 days. And in India, if you submit it to DCGI, the regulatory timeline the initiation may go to up to 2 years. And then you can think about the Indian red tapeism. Third is the clinical trial reforms. India in particular is not taking the adaptive clinical design. In case of most of this gene therapy or this cell and gene therapy or nanomedicine or the peptide therapeutics, or this will be the future of medicine. But India is not taking CT reforms. So it is not taking the real world evidence or artificial intelligence or machine learning based data. So AI and ML based data on the toxicological or toxicokinetic data were predictive, so that they will not accept. So they need the real world evidence, and they need everything. So fourth thing is that AI. We have talked about many things about AI and data integration or data integrity. So one person was asking about the AI data validation, and I would like to suggest that it is not only data validation, but it is also the data integrity that will be coming into picture. Fifth is that VC investment. So we are far behind China, to be very precise. We have got if I talk about a timeline of 10 years, from 2015 to 2025, China has got around 25 billion and USD, this is in dollar terms, and India could get only 2 billion. And that also, I think in 2018, we have got around 400 million. That was the highest. After that, no. And the global drug approvals. Again, here in this case, we are lacking. So China or US FDA or EMEA is approving the drugs or the genomic drugs that has been developed in China. But in India, we are not initiating only. So if we talk about Dr. Reddy's or anybody, or if it is our West Bengal based organizations also. So these kinds of lagging behind is hindering, and this will take time. So what we are talking about, that it would be about suppose 10, 15, 20 or 25 years in the timeline. But this is the lacunas. So what are the remedies that we can suggest is that accept the AI powered approvals, but that will not be so easy because all the medical professionals and doctors are there. So they will ask for the clinical evidences. So your clinical body of evidences will come into picture. So Dr. Ganguly was also telling about AMR. So how you can use this genomic data for antibiotic resistance breakers. So that we need a product. We just don't need research. So only academic research will not give us. So we need the product. So AI based toxicology or in silico modeling data or ML based safety analytics data, so that can come into picture. Then approving the adaptive clinical trial design and the real world evidence and the digital twins. So whatever the globally it is, that should be accepted by CDSU. Fast track pathways. So priority review and breakthrough designation of this gene therapy. So if you don't give, US FDA will give, but Indian DCGI will not give. I tell you very clearly. Because I have asked sometimes back at some pharma to DCGI, that is Dr. Rajiv Raghuvanshi, and he told that we need the clinical evidences. We will not give on the basis of the breakthrough designation, will not. Then single window approvals. So if there is any chance of merger of this CDSCO and the ethics committee and the state regulators, the CDSCO will go in one way and the state regulators may go in another way. So this is another problem. Then we need the regulatory sandboxes. So in case of cell and gene therapy, which is the future of medicine, or your cellular intervention or genetic interventions. So we need the regulatory sandboxes for fast track of these approvals. And the last thing is everybody needs money. So money is honey. So you need the public market access for these biotech startups or even for the 90-year young companies or anybody. So priority or initial market access to the biotech startups so that they can be listed in similar to that of NASDAQ or S&P 500. So small startups also can get the preliminary access to the market so that they can be, they can get the money and the VCs also can exit. So this would be the suggestions. So let's see.
Thank you, Dr. Ganguly. I'll ask the same question to Probhas also, but with a little bit of twist. That is, Probhas, you being part of the industry, and you're also in an ownership position, right? So when it comes to, in my case as well, that being an owner of an organization, when you are seeing these kind of challenges, and you want to contribute to research, okay, and we are being all three part of MSMEs as well, okay. So our turnovers are all below 500 crores. And as Dr. Ganguly said, money is very important, and as well as time. So when you think about having any research project, everybody dreams about having an own novel research project, right? But sometimes it's so difficult. If you see the recent data in drug discovery in India and the patents filed, it's self-explanatory what is happening. As Dr. Ganguly said, yes, the rules and regulations are there for a reason, but I think it should not hinder inventions and final products. At the end of the day, whatever you do, everybody loves to have a final product that will help the society at large, right, to get solutions. So as an owner with a dream of having research or research-based solutions, what is your view? Because you are in a top position, right? You need to take a lot of very difficult decisions. So what do you think when you face similar situations?
So thank you, Rishi, for this opportunity. And also I would like to thank Bengal Chamber of Commerce. It's a very lovely and august setup. I find a lot of intellectual capital here. Dr. Ganguly has actually pointed out the entire gamut of the industry problems and very well enumerated. Very little to add on to that. But from an entrepreneur's point of view, what should I start with? I would start with the bottom. See, This is my way of going into research. I don't want to start with the top, like he's saying. We start with genomics and personalized medicine. We start with the very bottom and then work ourselves up, build up product bases. Marketing a cutting edge product is also a very difficult task. You see, when the resistance to accepting any new product in the market, and that to a personalized medicine product, would take a little bit of a big sort of a challenge, and it's very costly. Personalized medicine, it might sound very novel and everything, but it's quite costly, and it'll take a lot of effort, and obviously it'll be the AI and ML augmentation to generate data and predict semi-finished or finished product stages. That will be really helpful, and obviously with time I think the ice will thaw, DCGI and things like that will start taking, but now DCGI is in a total war mode, so not on research but on pharmaceutical companies for compliance to regular revised schedule M, and so that is what they are doing every day and day out. So after all these things calm down a little bit and maybe the tariffs start hurting people, I mean the Trumpian tariffs. So I think the DCGI will, already there are signals from the government that they are looking into MSME augmentation and things like that. So when those things start happening, when actually things start biting, things I think will move a little bit faster. But it will take a lot of time and acceptance, and as you say, India does not accept data from external sources like we saw during COVID. We lost around a lot of time, and I would say it's not a very bad thing. You see, considering the mRNA vaccine, what's it, adverse drug reactions which are coming out of the US and things like that. I would say this is a very novel area of work. We need a little bit time and patience on the innovators part, and obviously, as you said, money is honey. Government has initiated a scheme called the PRIP, and one of those full names it escapes me right now. It's basically a fund of 7,000 CR which has been deliberated to all the NIPers, and they are supposed to work with the industry. There are some less than 1 crore grants also available. So I happen to be one of connected to industry, academia, some in Indian Drug Manufacturers Association, so I know a little bit of these things. But again, there is the big thaw. NIPER and all these government institutions, they need to engage with the industry to take these things. Say everything will not go to bang to the market the first day. There are several stages of drug discovery. So there will be investors, the industry or other VCs or whatever, they will have to pitch in and they will have to take it forward. And unless NIPER on the government organizations come down from their own high horses and think, this guy who is here, okay. I have tried to reach out to NIPER also, a lot of pharma companies, to bring them into a industry academia collaboration efforts. So it's a tough task, but we have to do it. And finally, there is something called MSME, NSE MSME funding has come. So you can have a small MSME IPO thing. NSE has, no, not hackathon. That's just a fund. I'm not talking about the fund. I'm saying about IPOs. MSME can go in for IPOs. NSE, small and medium industries stock exchange. I think there is a fund which is not a fund. I mean, there is a market where you can pitch. So these are the things which can take the things forward. I hope better things will happen in the long run. And from a pharmaceutical company, we have to wait and see and pitch ourselves according to what we get in the market. We cannot, we cannot have a hope that one day it will happen. We need to start now. We need to go very steadily, and whatever we can do, we start doing it in a point of research. Initially, it may not look like a big thing. But when we start drawing some benefits, again, One more thing has happened in India is that there's something called a unified code of pharma marketing practices. Big name. It's another thing where the government has forced pharma companies to bring checks and balances into funding of doctors and other aspects, so that that concept of hiring a doctor to write your product, those things goes down. So the doctors also and all the pharma companies also are looking into some sort of advisories, research, and real world evidence based studies to and in clinic practices, so that we can take out the thing from a trading activity. I give you this, you give me that. Something cerebral, something informative is actually exchanged with the doctor, which a doctor can also be part of small trials. In fact, Dr. Shubhajyoti Bhomik is here, and we work with a lot of doctors for our real world evidence based studies, and I think they might prove a little bit of a benefit for us when it comes to marketing our products. So these small things, I think the industry can contribute and will contribute, and I think there may be some breakthroughs in the long run. Let's hope for the best. That's all.
Thank you, Probhas. Probhas being a very dynamic entrepreneur. I have always been a big fan of him. He's a very dear brother to me, actually. We are part of the same industry, though. Even though we have products that fight for the same shelf, but we don't. Okay. So before coming to Barun Babu, I'll just go to Dr. Roy. As you can give a very different perspective on the angle of United States, because that's the largest pharmaceutical market in the world, right? And I think early in the program, I think Dr. Chattopadhyay had spoken about drug resistance. I think Dr. Ganguly has also spoken about drug resistance. And I just had this idea about trying to know from you what is happening in that area when it comes to research in drug resistance, because that's a huge problem in India as well. It's a very big problem.
Yeah. So, in research perspective, in Boston, there are many new startup, Boston-based like a Biotech, which actually created partly from the universities like MIT, Harvard, and then when they are in little bit have the enough data, then the companies are created and it's spin-off. In this case, our main, if it is a genomic, there are bunches of like a RNA therapeutics, cell and gene therapeutics companies were created in Boston. But the problem what now we are facing, it is like if how to bring it to the clinic. So that is the major thing. And for resistance also, drug resistance, finding the right candidate, like a right person of clinical trial, that is the one of the problem. And how we can bring it from R&D to the clinic, meaning not it is phase 1 or phase 2, phase 3, and then the final one. That is the major thing. Like if we go and think of the Moderna, it was created in 2013 from Langer's lab. At the same time, there was another company created from Langer's lab, that is Lindra Therapeutics. We all know about Moderna because millions and millions of people got their vaccine and saved from COVID, which is an mRNA vaccine, we know, first delivered inside the cell. But COVID came, it was the company was generated first for the Zika virus, but COVID came and they very quickly make it for the COVID, and it was passed due to the high level of emergency need, and all the regulation passed and it came to the clinic. On the other hand, Lindra, which is not a genomic company, but it was a like a slow release drug delivery. It's an oral delivery for a week, for a month, but the first clinical trial was for the schizophrenic. There was malaria, work with Bill Gates with Bangladesh. There was contraceptive pill, with Africa for once a month contraceptive pill. But what the problem, I was in that company, so what we saw as the clinic, for the first candidate was schizophrenia. Getting the right patient, right clinical trial was very difficult. It came 7 days for few patients, the drug came out. I mean, and for some it was 17 days. So that make the a phase 3 trial very much challenging. So this is the challenge we have. Similarly, going back to the gene delivery, there are many gene delivery startups there, which is for the very child. I mean, so getting those patients and bringing them for the clinical trial, those are also a very critical thing for us. Now, if we think of a gene delivery, Alnylam, which is the first siRNA-based, RNAi-based company that was created in 2001 from spin-off of Max Planck, and then the first drug on Patro, it was approved, totally approved by FDA in 2018. So a long period of time. Now we need to have something very quickly, which is another challenge. Yeah. So the a current one where I am working, it created from a university in 2019. Now it is going to the phase 3. So this small period and pushing it so fast with an efficiency that it get accepted, that is the challenge.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. I also believe that apart from inventions, the other part of containing drug resistance is to educate down the line customers of the resistance issues. Because, for example, in our country, I know that in US I have worked in few markets in Cleveland, because we used to have a tie up with Cleveland Clinic many years back with Dr. Omiyo Banerjee. Shubhada knows him very well. And there I could see that the concept of dispensing medicines in the US is absolutely different from what we have in India. In Indian retail is extremely diverse, right? Extremely. It's huge, it's massive, and it's diverse. I know we have a former regulator here, Dr. Roy. He has been right in the thick of it, the issue. He had tried his level best when he was in his chair. It's a very vast market, multiple medicine shops. Okay, now most of the local shops know you by your face, by your name, and when you go there and ask him for a first strip of azithromycin, they will most probably give you, although legally you're not supposed to. Yeah, the Schedule H drugs are not supposed to be dispensed without a prescription. But that's the issue. In all our houses, we have self-doctors as well, starting with my mother. Today, this morning, she told me that I have a throat pain and I think I should take azithromycin. I said, no. You should call our doctor first and then please take it. I also have my mother-in-law. A 5-tablet course becomes a 3-tablet course because she feels all right after 3 doses, right? So it doesn't work, right? The last 2 doses, if it's not there, it doesn't work. So I think that is very important that we should keep on educating the customers and the patients regarding the bad effects of resistance. Because when it happens, it's difficult to save lives, right? It's impossible to save lives. So I think that is another part in the Indian context. Maybe that can be taken care of. But another thing which is very, very surprising, because drug resistance is prevalent all over the world. Right? It's there in US, there in UK. I've been in dispensing areas of hospitals in UK and in the US just to see what's happening. And I've seen people taking the prescriptions and not given back to you because you can't use it to purchase another strip. Even after that, the issue is still there all over the world. So I think a lot of educating of the patients are required. It happened with my son's pediatrician. I know him, very strict. I used to call him a non-antibiotic doctor. He said, no antibiotics, no antibiotics, no antibiotics. So I used to tell him that, doc, the others are like prescribing and their children are getting like cured. He said, no, that's not the case. You are from the pharma industry, you should know. But I know that you're a father right now in the chamber, so you are not thinking on that line. You are trying to find out whether the drug is working quickly or not. But this is the issue. So I think there's a lot of opportunity to keep on educating customers or the patients. But again, we are talking about 100 plus crore people, right? I'm not even going to 140, 150. Right? I'm not going to 150. So how do you educate this much of patients? But anyway, we'll get back to this later. I'll just have
to add, like this is this resistancy. Definitely in US, the antibiotic or all these drugs are very much restricted and are dispensed. But there are other which are still coming, like a UTI, very much resistant. So local delivery, there are many research or small companies, biotech companies are created for local slow release UTI drug delivery. So that is the delivery perspective. If you have some ointment or something which can be just injected and slowly can release. So one aspect. And yeah.
Thank you, Doctor. I'll just come to Dr. Barun Bhattacharyya now. We are colleagues in our organization. And again, coming back to organizations and research, organizations like us, he's the head of our R&D. Okay? So whenever we talk about not a novel drug, though, it's difficult to invent novel drug for a company like us. Maybe a Me Too product that we are trying to bring in the market, but we have to develop it ourselves in our plant, right? Or in his lab. So I have a background in studying of law. So I'm not from science background, but I am given the responsibility to manufacture and sell my products. So whenever I speak to him regarding a development of a particular formulation or a drug, I ask him, Kobe Pabo, or in English, when will I get it? Because I need to sell it quickly, right? In order to get revenue. Because we are all commercial organizations. Let's be very frank here. We need to generate revenue. We need to be profitable so that our employees and our associates, they can also grow in their life. And also we can provide good medicines to the market. And as you can see, we have been doing this for 90 plus years. 90 years is not a very small amount of time, right? And all three. And I'm sure many of us, those who are 90 year plus, they have been able to maintain that kind of quality and reputation in the market. Okay. So when I tell you that I need it right now, maybe the day before, what do you think, and what do you think of the challenges of being a research scientist in a commercial organization?
So, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. That thing we used to do, we have to think from the backside of the story. So, what is our target date? And we have to identify which is the product. If it is a Me Too product, then I have to think that whether we will get the license from local SLA or DCGI. And second thing is whether it is a FDC or SND. Then the factor comes that whether it is a liquid dosage form or the solid dosage form. So we have that definite format we have in our mind that if it is a solid dosage format, then it is a FDC, we have to go to DCGI. That means Bhattacharyya 18 Then we have to apply for the FDC to the DCGI, and after the Co-Chairperson committee recommendations in 2013, we have to go to the DCGI for new drug formulations. Our West Bengal Drug Control do not provide the license to us for these new FDCs. And then after putting our applications, we have to face the subject expert committee. If everything is okay, already it is in the approved list of the DCGI, then we, at least if it is solid dosage form, whether it is capsule or tablet, we have to at least go for bioequivalence or bioavailability studies. That much you have to go for, incur some amount of cost for these animal trials. And if it is a liquid, then it depends on the recommendations of the subject expert committee. If it is recommended by the subject expert committee for any clinical trials, it may be phase 3 trials also. We face these things. For a probiotic formulations, we have that one in our capsule. When we go for another dosage form in sachet, the first reaction we got in that meeting, that why you are going for the sachet. Obviously for the pediatric or geriatric populations. One of our experts told me that take out the capsule content and take it. And what they did, they put us on the phase 3 clinical trials, all the 10 indications we mentioned. That means at least 2 crore rupees. So we are the MSMEs that Dr. Ganguly already told us that we have that limitations. We know that our Indian multinationals usually put their funds, at least 5 to 10% of their total revenues to the R&D purpose, and average of in Indian context it is 5.9%. So it is very difficult for us to position a product to that part. And if it is a price control product, DPCO product, then we have to think about different angles, including the packaging. Packaging is a very, very important for the perspective of pharmaceutical formulations, and more particularly for the biological molecules, if it is for protein or live cells. So we need to take care of these packaging costs, also cut short it. And the day before yesterday, there comes another regulation from DCGI. You have to put entire excipients qualitatively on the packaging strips. So you need more space. That means you need more packaging material. It will incur cost. QR code also there. And another thing is that Dr. Ganguly is speaking about, that the organization, and Mr. Duttagupta also talking about the things that nowadays the companies who are doing research, not marketing the product, because the research in that field, if it is targeted, it cannot assure that fine morning you can give the results and take it to the market. Because if we go for a particular facility for a loan license producing, then you have to provide that plant, if it is FDA recognized, that there is a good distribution practice come into the effect. And you have to ensure the stability of the product entered regarding the storing at your warehouse to the shipment to the depot and to the retailer shop also. So taking care of all these things and these responsibilities is these questions and these solutions are usually provided by the R&Ds. Whenever any person come up with any problem regarding the product problem, stability problem, manufacturing problem, or any technology transfer problem, we are there to solve this. So we need to take some calculative risk, that we know these things. So it may happen or may not be happen if we put these things in a time-bound manner to the salespersons.
Thank you, Dr. Bhattacharyya. You skillfully avoided my direct question. That was how difficult it is to work with me. So thank you for avoiding it. No, I mean, see what we normally feel. I think they can echo my views as well. Is that there's a pharmaceutical industry in India is a very misunderstood industry, like many other industries. I mean, everybody thinks that the industries are extremely cash rich, right? We can fix our own prices, right? Now somebody can buy a pack of cigarettes with like 50% surcharge, but if they are prescribed a medicine which is like say 10-12% more than a generic one, they will say koto dam, right? So now the point is that to those who are not aware, in India almost I think 900 plus drugs are under price control. 900. How many drugs are under price control, Probhas? Like that? No? 378? No.
May I beg to differ from everybody? The entire pharmaceutical industry is under a price control regimen, because whatever is a non-scheduled drug, over there also we cannot increase our prices above 10% in 12 months. Believe me. Yes, the latest market driven TPCO 2013, I think. I mean, say in PPA 2020, 2018, whatever. So the rules are that around 14% of the drugs, I think, are under scheduled drugs, where the government fixes the prices every quarter, and you have to abide by that. And not from, there's a very gray area there. There is nothing called a prospective batch. You have to do it immediately. আজ সকালে হলো রাতের বেলার মধ্যে কালকের মধ্যে it cannot medicine shop cannot sell it at the old rate. So unless anyway, so that's a very gray and a very contested area, not going into that. But apart from that also, the scheduled drugs in 12 months 10% is the maximum amount you can increase your prices by. And when the propylene glycol glycerin prices became 5 times, all the liquid manufacturers worth of name, we incurred losses, but maintained our product's quality, and we had to, no other way. And so people do not understand the difficulty of manufacturing a product with a certain composition, and overnight the prices have gone up 5 times, and the government has not given us any benefit of increasing our prices. What happens at those points in time? So anyway, so whatever, we are surviving and we are thriving in this, and we are working on that. And R&D is also a part of the effort to reduce prices and keeping the quality in a right manner, so that our products are stable and safety and efficacy is assured through the entire period of the drug's shelf life. Okay, Dr. Bhattacharyya, do you? And I have not brought my R&D people here. If they hear, they will be. I have a regular love and hate relationship with my R&D. In the morning, I give my my things to them, and in the evening they give it back to me over a glass. So anyway, please.
Anyway, I know that we have more sessions following this, but before that we'll open the house for questions. And how many minutes do we have for question and answer? 5 minutes? Okay. Yes, sir. Of course.
Thank you, Mr. Duttagupta and others, learned panelists. Probably I'm the only person here who served as a drug controller of West Bengal for 2 years, that Mr. Duttagupta has mentioned. So I have a varied experiences on doing that, and I was listening your comments all about. Dr. Ganguly was telling that about state drug controller also have something to do with, because DCGI is one party, SLA is one party, manufacturers are another stakeholder. So why not it can be put into the straight line? And sorry to say that SLA has a very minimal power to exercise, They don't have any licensing power, first of all. I could not give a single license. Neither I had the power to delicense. Okay, everything is given to DCGI. About this antimicrobial resistance, a long time, many things have been spoken about. Please, can you tell, after 1980s, any new molecule API has come as an antibiotic? No. So if you have a 5 to 6 compounds in your hand, and you are going to sell this, you are going to consume this. Now, can you expect that there will be no resistance? There will be. So the R&D part has many things to do. Whole world is working on that because bugs are coming, new bugs are coming, new mutations are coming. So all these things are creating the whole problem. So I have 2 comments on that only. That's about.
Sir,
Thank you.
Sir, one thing that nafithromycin has come up with Ochard and Biotech, the new antibiotic for new drug-resistant pneumonia, recently launched.
And what you what you have told is correct. And because all the MNCs, they have left antimicrobial space. Antibiotic space has been left.
Reason is this.
Because there is no money. Money is not that much churned up like how if you go for a Cadsilla, which is a 20 billion churning thing, or Herceptin. So the thing is that the Indian pharma companies are working on antibiotic resistance breakers, ARBs, and some government push incentive and pull incentives are also coming up. And also as from Gates Foundation or something like that. So small organizations are working on this antibiotic resistance breakers or newer antibiotics like Ochard but big pharma has left the space. So that is a very sad thing. But if Indian government of India is having the push incentive and pull incentive, thereby slowly it is coming up. But
if the focus goes to FDCs, then how this API will come?
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Just a minute. Dr. Roy has given the first comment that SLAs cannot do anything, and I do not fully agree with that, sir. But I'm telling you, and this comment he has made, if my memory serves very bad, my memory is very bad. When I was a young novice, I had gone to a organizational meeting of IDMA or some level of meeting, and Dr. Roy was speaking. He made the exact same comment then. Without DCGI's approval, I cannot do anything. And he was one of the best SLAs I have ever encountered over. He's an extremely thoughtful person. And I would say as Bengal as a SLA head, এরকম লোক খুব কম এসছে।
স্যার একটা কথা বলি, আমি ডিসিজিআই কিন্তু স্ট্রিক্টলি বলে দিয়েছে, ওরা বেশ কিছু এফডিসি লিস্টেড করে দিয়েছে, দিয়ে বলেছে গো টু দ্য এসএলএ, দে উইল গিভ ইউ দ্য লাইসেন্স। Still we are not getting this. This is the ground reality, sir.
The SLAs every day they have a different SOP.
Yeah.
সকাল ধরুন খারাপ বলতে চাই না, but what happens is that they are also under a lot of pressure. You see, there was this company called Paschim Bongo Banijyo in West Bengal, where there was a mishap, and what happens, the SLA comes under a lot of pressure. So every now and often, to save their own hides, they say na etao din, and what happens if it is given said je ajke bolun, তো আমাকে তো রিসার্চ করে 6 মাস তো ওটার স্টেবিলিটি স্টাডি করে দিতে হবে, ইট বিকামস অ্যানাদার প্রবলেম ফর মি দেরি করে বললে। সো এনিওয়ে, বাট দেখা যাক, I have requested many times, Rishi was there, যে make an SOP, fix this is what we have to do, and we'll do it. But
আমরা স্যার প্যারাসিটামল সাসপেনশনের লাইসেন্স পাইনি, স্যারকে জিজ্ঞেস করুন। ভেরি মাচ ইন দ্য আমরা হায়দ্রাবাদ চলে গেলাম।
Now, sir, there are 4 SLAs.
Okay. Yeah. Sir, just one question. Sir, as you mentioned that we need to educate the crowd, the population, right, sir? So my question is, out here in India, a doctor, about like I'm talking about an MBBS doctor, right? He's a one-man army. We all believe in that. If one doctor will say the same thing, and if I'm going to say like, maybe something contradictory, I'm from pharma background, I'm a pharmacist. So the people, even my mother is going to believe the doctor only. She's not going to believe me, right? So that gap is there, first thing. And the thing is that because the doctors, with all due respect to all the MBBS doctors out here, so the thing is that they do not have that much of time, like, they can educate about each and every drug or the medicine to the patients. So where will that education come from? Because we do not have community pharmacy in India. Like, we do not actually practice that. And if you're going to a pharmacist shop, and if that person does not have the marketed product, what the doctor have prescribed, right? So what he will do, the person who's standing in the pharmacy shop, he will just like, ridicule the doctor, hey, bhalo nahi, you take the other medicine and all from a different company and all. So who will play the role of educating the population of India when we pharmacists, like, we are just treated as a second, maybe many of the people they call like a compounder of a doctor, right? So that, like, is there in pharmacy still, it is existing till date. Though I myself, I belong from a family of MBBS doctor, but I'm into pharmacy. So with that, please, sir.
Can I
I'll actually,
that?
before
I'm
you,
a doctor myself.
I'll just do
with all due respect, sir, I do not want to disrespect anyone.
I just want to respond to that, to what is happening in hospitals. I'm not talking about the government hospitals. I'm talking about private hospitals. Private hospitals in India are now on the way of quality accreditation journey. If you understand, the NABH is a very important tool to accredit hospitals so that quality care is, delivered to the patients. Currently in India, there are more than 4,000 fully accredited NABH hospitals and around 8,000 certified NABH hospitals. The 4,000 fully accredited private hospitals have a chapter on medication management, where the patients have to be, discussed. It's not about doctor's responsibility, but they have to be discussed about the side effects, especially if you're an oncology hospital. In our city, we have a big hospital in oncology, like Tata. They are an NABH accredited hospital. In Gadia, you have another very big hospital. If they embrace NABH, you will have to make certain provisions. You must have SOPs in terms of patient training, patient engagement with medications, and who will work in these locations? Clinical pharmacists. So, I would rather ask that the pharmacy education in India is not aligned to hospitals. They would like to go more towards East India Pharmaceuticals or Mendine Pharmaceuticals because they believe there are more role models there. Where are the role models in hospitals? Tell me a clinical pharmacist in Calcutta I believe what Bengal is missing now is role models. Always I believe, and this was my next question. We need good positive role models in pharma also. There are, if you really, there are role models, I will say, and there are few people who are doing great jobs in hospitals. Like if you go to Apollo hospitals, if you go to Peerless hospitals, if you go to some of the hospitals on the bypass, they have clinical pharmacists who are recruited. But any day, the offer which is made by East India Pharmaceutical is going to be more tempting. Not because they offer more money, because they have a career pathway there. They know that, the owner believes that the clinical pharmacist is more valued in that particular sector than in the hospital sector. The hospital sector has started accepting clinical pharmacy only since 2006, when NABH came into existence. Still now, it's not a mandated thing. In this year, 2025, NABH made it mandatory. There will be a medication safety officer. It has come after 19 years of inception of NABH that a medication safety officer, and I completely agree with you, you are no longer compounders, let me tell you. You are a part of the team. Hospitals run by teams. Doctors can lead the team. They can be leaders. But everybody has a place there. A nurse has a very important place. A clinical pharmacist has an equal important place. Question is, do we have adequate role models to showcase that pathway? That is where we are missing. We need more, but life is not that dark. You need to actually look around. There are many hospitals in Bengal who are looking for good clinical pharmacists. Trust me, ma'am, there are not enough people here in this audience also who will take up a job in a hospital on the bypass vis-a-vis Mendine Pharmaceuticals offering them a job. They will walk along that pathway because they believe that is much more secure job.
Well, I think there's another aspect to it, as of course I completely agree with him, is that I'll just ask everybody, how many of you, after being prescribed a medicine, have not Googled for it? First thing is you Google it, right? Even if the doctor prescribes you, you Google it, right? And in Google, you will never get the proper information. Never. You will get the information that is only being paid for. It comes first. You don't have the patience of scrolling 10 pages down for the proper information. So I think we are also responsible in one way. The moment you start reading Google, it is absolutely confusing, right? At the end of any molecule you look up on Google, the last effect is cancer, right? So you get scared, you get confused, and you lose focus on the medicine itself. You go to your local shop and you'll find out what is the alternative. Like, I can't have this, why can't I have that? So Dr. Google is sitting on top of all of you, unfortunately. Okay, I hope that that is broken sometimes. It's very, very dangerous. It happens in my family also. That is what I'm coming on from that. So that is the best thing, is to listen to your doctor and don't listen to anybody else.
I would just like to add.
Hello.
So instead of Dr. Google, we've got Dr. ChatGPT now. So I think this is the next evolution in that. But I think digital pharmacies are doing a good job of educating about the particular drugs. If you go on any digital pharmacies like 1mg, Pharmeasy, there's a good description of the drugs as well as the side effects. And I think that's a change that we're seeing in this space.
I'm sorry we're running out of time, but I just want to say, with my recent experience, in one of these online portals, I've ordered one medicine, and that was requiring prescription. So just after 1 or 2 minutes, I got a call from a lady who was supposed to be a pharmacist, and then she's just asking me over the phone, why do you need this medicine? I gave the reason, okay, we'll send it. So is that is that sufficient? Obviously not. I did not upload any sort of prescription. She did not ask who prescribed it and things as such. But
here I would like to tell you, see, what is your experience that you have got a call from the clinical pharmacist? But I have also taken from a different, maybe same or different organization, but I got a call from MD doctor, and she asked me all the details, that whatever you are requiring, why you require this medicine, how much time your disease is persisting. So things differ, but your experience is you got a call from clinical pharmacist, but sometimes you may get call from MD doctors also. So it differs from case by case basis, I believe. Yeah.
Hello.
Shall I speak?
Can I speak here? Yeah, I have a very simple question. In the first session, we had been listening to all the AI people talking about AI and all these things. And when you come to the second session, you made a very valid comment that we should not Google doctor. But you can tell me, I mean, what is the harm in searching in the ChatGPT about the effects of this one? So do you mean to say that ChatGPT, which is a product of AI, is not as reliable as the human intelligence?
So if you ask me, I would rather listen to the doctor.
So
no harm in looking at ChatGPT.
In that case, I mean, we
nobody's
don't depend
stopping
upon
you.
the AI.
But nobody's stopping you looking at AI models or AI answers.
No,
but I would rather.
It's contradictory.
No, the reason how ChatGPTs work is they will pull in data from both the published scientific evidence, from journals, as well as from blogs. So I can write a blog, Dr. Roy can write a blog, and then Professor Ray can write a blog depending on, say, paracetamol. I can say I had a lovely experience with paracetamol. Dr. Ray, who is a very much senior person, can say paracetamol has A, B, C, D problem. But a published literature or for meta-analysis talks about thousands of patients, and that is published from a big center in India, or for example in Boston. That is a much more high value literature. Now ChatGPT cannot identify where is this data coming from. ChatGPT just will combine the data and say, on basis of 20,000 patients, where of course it's a biased information coming, but the bias will be more towards where the patients are more in number. The ChatGPT will list the issues which have been highlighted. So if I write how safe is paracetamol, so that will be a collation of data which is available on the internet. So we need to also understand how the collation of data is coming in. For common drugs, it's common. For uncommon drugs, it's very difficult. So we cannot just rely on ChatGPT blindly.
And I would like to give you one answer. See, if you have seen last year Sundar Pichai's presentation on AI and ML, so Google-based analytic predictions for AI ML on ocular diseases, the percentage of efficacy or the percentage of correctness is around 76%. So around 24% is lacking. So it is anywhere between 70 to 76%. So predictive analytic modeling based on AI, so that is 24 to 30% you can get wrong. So doctor, it is better you always go and consult a doctor, and the Google doctor is there, but that efficacy is
lot of interesting. Can I speak?
Sorry, last issue. This is the current phenomena. 25% is the gap. Give it a few more years. Dr. Bhomik will say, "Je, amar galo Google ocular diseases and heart diseases, ये विभिन्न माने measurable parameters যেটা বের করছে, this will one day, in fact, radiology is already অনেক কিন্তু মানে অবস্থা is, you should try perplexity sometimes."
Okay, what we'll do is that we can discuss after this session is over, and I'll come to you, ma'am, personally to get your question. Oh, you have a question? Just fire away. We'll answer it quickly because we have few seconds left.
So a lot of interesting discussions going on. So basically, ChatGPT and other AI modes or digital modes are just for information. Like you go to a pharmacist in USA, they give you a pamphlet. So that is just for your information. The final verdict will come from the doctor. Whether, depending on what all other conditions you have, whether a particular drug is suitable for you or not, will come. But this is only for information. So besides that, I just want to highlight on one point Dr. Roy was mentioning, that no new drug has come after fluoroquinones. Actually, that I would like to differ from that, because Lidazolid or Zyvox came in 2000 for hospital-acquired infection, and it is being very commonly used now as a new antibiotic when the other antibiotics stop working. So that is because I myself worked on oxazolone class of antibacterials in Ranbaxy, and I was part of a co-inventor in the patent for Ranbaxolid, which went up to phase 1 trials. So I don't know how much research is going on now on that class of antibiotics, but there are antibiotics which have come after fluoroquinones, which are marketed now.
Okay, thank you. So thank you, ma'am, for your observations. We'll just wrap it up very quickly. I don't think we have time to recap, but everybody has heard what all our esteemed panelists have put forward. Very, very important topics: regulatory, the future, the present, and drug resistance. I think that was a very, very interesting part of this discussion. So thank you, Dr. Roy, Dr. Bhattacharyya, Mr. Chakraborty, and Dr. Ganguly. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Duttagupta, for the moderation, and I also thank all the panelists of this session. I request Mr. Debarshi Duttagupta, our co-chairperson of the Biotech and Pharma committee, to please present mementos to the panelists. To Dr. Kuntal Ganguly. To Mr. Probhas Bondhu Chakraborty. Dr. Barun Kanta Bhattacharyya, and to Dr. Kinkini Roy. I request our chairperson, Professor Dr. Dhrubajyoti Chattopadhyay, to please be on the dais. So, one more. Sorry, I request our chairperson to please present the memento to Mr. Duttagupta also.